Today I'm going to show you how to bleed the foot brake on your Polaris ATV. These things are notorious for not working. The second owner of this vehicle, I guess, said it's never worked since he's owned it. So, challenge accepted. And the real problem is, even if you've replaced your master cylinder and it's still not working, is air in the system. And the difficulty in getting the air out is because we're trying to get the air out of both the master cylinder and the brake line and caliper at the same time, which is really hard to do. On a regular car, you hook up a line to your outlet on your master cylinder, run a hose back into the reservoir, and you pump the master cylinder and you bleed the master cylinder first, then you put the brake line on. That's almost impossible to do here. Maybe not. For sure, pumping on the brake pedal and cracking the bleeder screw did absolutely nothing for me. I just had a completely dead pedal. Even hooking up a vacuum pump to that bleeder screw and open it and trying to pull a vacuum on it did absolutely nothing on it. Right now, you know, if you have this problem on your car, on your ATV, you know how easy it is to push this piston in. This is all I can push it right now, okay? This is a perfect firm pedal I'm gonna have from bleeding this the way I'm gonna show you, okay? So if you have this problem, trust me, this is gonna fix it better than any other solution you've seen, okay? And what it's gonna require you to do is take the 2 bolts off that hold your master cylinder onto the bracket and the 1 bolt off that holds the reservoir on, 3/8 inch wrench. Take those bolts off and then undo the 4 clips that hold your brake line in place and bring it over here to the left hand side of the vehicle where you see me at now. And the first thing I did was I put this hose on here, cracked the bleeder screw open, opened the lid, took the reservoir cap and the gasket top off, and held this up in the air and just let every bit of the old brake fluid drain out. Just like a brake flush, like you do on any kind of hydraulic vehicle. Once I did that, I put more brake fluid in and just let it run out for a little bit. It's not very much brake fluid this system holds. At this point, I took my hose with the bleeder screw still open, okay, and turned it facing upward like this and started filling my reservoir. I held this up higher in the air and started filling my reservoir. Once it started filling, you'll see the air bubbles start to bubble out of this hose and you'll start to see the fluid rise. Once you see the fluid rise, make sure you have enough. All this time you're making sure you maintain enough level that this doesn't get empty. It's not going to take much. Once this level starts to rise, I'm going to lower this down to where you see it now. And if I actually lower this lower than this level, you'll see the fluid go back down. And what I'm going to do is like making a water level, especially back here in this back of the brake line. Make sure it's all down. Try to keep it lower than this port. I'm making like a water level out of brake fluid. So my reservoir is full and I have a little bit of fluid sitting in this tube as well, and the bleeder screw is open, okay? At this point, I'm gonna manually work the master cylinder, and every time you see it back and forth, you'll see bubbles coming out of this fluid in your tube, and you'll also see bubbles coming out of the top of your master cylinder. Keep the top off while you're doing this to watch to see what's going on. You do this enough times, I even would raise the level up, lower it back down, just to try to make sure I'm getting all the air out of this line. Okay, the hose itself took the master cylinder, turned it back and forth as well, worked it several times to get all the air out of the master cylinder and the brake line, and then I closed off the bleeder screw. Okay, once I was done, like I said, this is a fantastic brake pedal, okay? If I could show you. I'll try to push as hard as I can. You know how far this cylinder actually moves. That's all I can push it in right there. Okay, it's about that far. So, fantastic pedal. It's the only way you're gonna get this system bled right. And all I gotta do now is just snake my master cylinder back over there, bolt it back up. Should be good to go. Okay, pretty simple actually, guys. Real easy fix for a real troublesome part that nobody seems to be able to get to work right. So appreciate y'all watching. See you next time. So pushing this down even by hand before would just this pedal would have just smacked the frame down here, and you see now, nice good firm pedal, nowhere close to the bottom. Okay, still well above the foot pad, so I'm putting good pressure on the brake. So all I did was remount everything. It's really just a few minute job once you know how to do it right. So hope this helped everybody out.